make the Timby great again, as they say. Just give it agility, that'll fix it all. But the real question, will it and would it bring the Timby to relevancy in MWO again? Just that one change. I don't think it would. I feel like we need to have a hard conversation about a mech that used to be the pinnacle of top tier gameplay, but has fallen out of the graces of many players out there. The Timberwolf. One of the most iconic mechs, and albeit my favorite mech in Battletech across the board. In MWO, I still use it, even though it's fallen from grace, and it still can perform. But really, I feel like this is a long story that we need to go way back and we need to talk about. What changed about the Timberwolf that brought it down a step? And I feel like that conversation is very pertinent considering the conversations I've had with PGI and the community when it comes to the initiative of 2021 and giving MWO some new life. Albeit, I think we can talk about agility. That's always, make the Timby great again, as they say. Just give it agility, that'll fix it all. But the real question, will it and would it bring the Timby to relevancy in MWO again? Just that one change. I don't think it would. I think many things have changed. Along with the nerfs that happened to the Timby, and let's go down memory lane here, the Timby got hit particularly by a few things. One, engine desync. Engine desync, for all of its pros and cons, is a good thing for MWO. A lot of people tend to forget the negatives. For those that weren't around, let's just say that if you had a large engine, you got a multiplier on your agility based on that engine. Now that may sound good, but if you're looking at the Blackjack with like a 235 max or other mechs, it could be really nasty. The Timberwolf has a 375. So of course it was rolling in good agility. A lot like a lot of other clan mechs at the time. So desync happened, and unfortunately, the pre-desync numbers didn't match up with the post-desync numbers. What does that mean? That basically means that numbers and agility wasn't rolled over. Well, where'd the numbers go? Some of them were just not given back, of course, and some of them were rolled into the skill tree. The skill tree in itself is a flawed system that makes you choose. Well, do you want mobility? Well, you have to sacrifice other nodes like firepower or survivability, and who in their right mind does that? You always go firepower and survivability. Therein lies a problem. But the Timberwolf wasn't the only mech affected by this, and I feel like this conversation goes all around. People always say the Timby, the Timby, the Timby. But is the Timberwolf the only victim here? No, it isn't. Across the line, and we'll hop into the mech lab and show you, 75 tonners for the most part all have around the same agility. But Phil, that can't be right. That other mechs just seem much more agile. Not 75 tonners. Actually, there's one mech that's a lot worse. Looking at you, Night Gear. So, what happened? What other changes happened? Well, we had weapon nerfs as well. At the time, the meta was Huge Laser Vomit, Timby. You had Peep Goss, Timby. You also had SRM and Small Pulse. All of those playstyles got nerfed. You have Ghost Heat now with Peep Goss. I still play it, but I can understand why it's fallen from graces. Now you're better off almost with just triple PPC, which actually does surprisingly well. Small Pulse hit not only affected the Arctic Cheetah, it affected the Timby in a brawl build. SRMs are still strong, but Laser Vomit has fallen off. So effectively, it's something that this mech could do really well. It's just sort of a generic master of none. And that's actually sort of where this conversation is going, which is that's one of the Timberwolf's problems. It isn't a master of anything. It's okay at a lot of things, but it isn't very special anything. If you go heavy ballistics, well, there's a Marauder for that. If you want missiles, it could do that okay. Laser, well, the Black Knight does it better. Combination of SRMs and missile, okay, it can do that, but to what extent? Again, you're competing with the Marauder and other 75 tonners in this category. So let's go and hop into the Mech Lab and let's go and talk about specific numbers, because I feel like a lot of people sort of gloss over, is it just a Timberwolf problem? And it looks like it isn't. MWO isn't short of having 75 tonners. It's actually pretty wide range, considering some of the other weight classes are sort of lacking. 70 and 75 tonners are pretty strong. And of course, like I said, across the board, we have a wide range of mechs, from the Timberwolf, the Thanatos, both Orions, the 2C as well, Night Gear, the Marauder, and of course, the Black Knight. So are they all the same? Which one is the worst? And is the Timby the worst out of all of them? Actually, surprisingly, no, it isn't. I think you guys already know that. The Night Gear here with an acceleration of 11.93 is, well, the worst 75 tonner, albeit not by much. The Orion coming in at 17.7 and Orion 2C coming at 17.7 as well, with the Thanatos coming, albeit a little bit faster across the board, in the low 20s and high 20s as well. And the Timberwolf just sort of sitting steady at the 19 to 20 marker. Now, all these aren't stock numbers. Some of these mechs may have a few alterations as far as skill tree. But again, looking at some of the Black Knights, it's pretty standard for 17.7. So right off the bat, the Timberwolf isn't special here. And obviously, I know, like, the discussion, we all have these memories of what the mech could do and why. And I think there's, for a few reasons. Yes, it got hit in agility, but so did a lot of other mechs. I think the other factor is it got hit on the weapons platforms. It was able to do really well. If you want a laser vomit setup, the Black Knight is looking square in the face. It is still a strong contender with the Timby. And a Timberwolf is now having to chew through plus 17 armor on the CT. So not only is the Timberwolf not very good at the firepower anywhere comparatively, now it has to burn through assault level armor to be able to compete with the Black Knight. Now, albeit, I understand Black Knight doesn't have good hard points. That doesn't matter. This is painting a picture of why people are always saying the Timberwolf is in the spot. Then you throw on the fact of some of these mechs have some nice quirks, and the Timby doesn't have any quirks. So again, it's sort of just a generalist, but it doesn't do anything exceptionally well. You throw on the fact of it does have low mounts. If it gets into a tussle with some of these Orions or anything up close, it just sort of lacks. Now, can the Timby still perform in its current role? Yes, it can. It does laser vomit. It can do some ATMs as well, but why take a Timberwolf that's slower when you can just take a Veagle that can just pop tart and go ham? Well, that's sort of the whole purpose of this video is the Timberwolf. I think we should really be saying make heavy mechs better. This isn't just a Timberwolf issue. This is a whole lineup. And it all starts, and again, from the discussion of quirks, from base agility stats, from skill tree. All these factors into why the Timberwolf is not the de facto top mech anymore. Now, yes, you have to balance 75 tonners against 75 tonners. But when 75 tonners are being gunned, armored, you can sort of see where the issues lie. And if I get it, the Timberwolf is supposed to be dangerous. How I view the clan IS balance is the clans are supposed to be deadly. And I can understand if that means not getting a whole lot of love in the survivability department. But because of that, the IS mechs have sort of crept up with a ton of durability and the ability to compete in the firepower department because of quirks. So this doesn't have anything. It doesn't have anything to shine or make it anything unique. And of course, like I said, you can pull off numbers. You can do things still in this mech. It's just not the mech it used to be. But neither are the other 75 tonners. They're okay. But across the board, they just need love. So that's sort of where this conversation is going to end, is I hope with the looking at the past as a history lesson, we can make changes based off of past changes that have happened, maybe revert and or take somebody even a bit further. But I feel like the real question when it comes to the Timberwolf isn't just the Timberwolf. It's agility. across 75 tonners and heavies. It's the fact of quirks have been used for balance instead of fixing balance at the root. It's the skill tree that came in that sort of made you choose. Why should you have to choose whether a mech is mobile? Shouldn't it just be mobile? Because you're always going to choose firepower. You're always going to choose those things. Having to choose one or the other, is that right fit for MWO? And then, of course, there's other mechs below 75 tonners that have more armor and survivability and more lethality. I'm looking at you, IV4. And I get it before you say, well, if you touch the IV4, people won't use it. Actually, I think you're wrong. I think people would still use the IV4. I just don't think it needs all of the survivability and maneuverability and agility it has with the weapons. It shouldn't have all three of the trifecta. So there we are. My thoughts on the whole discussion. Is the Timberwolf good? Yeah, it's okay-ish. I wish it was more than okay, and maybe in the future it will be. But I'd like to say the same thing about all 75 tonners across the board. They're just okay. All right, guys, that's my thoughts on the whole make the Timby great again, and or in this case, 75 tonners across the board. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with my thought process here? Am I the only one seeing this? Or, you know, going down the rabbit hole and a little bit of history of the changes that have happened? Let me know down in the description below. Make sure to click that follow button as well. And of course, have a discussion with me live over on Twitch. I stream Monday through Friday, 12 to 6 p.m. Eastern. It's a great time. It's a great place too for a new player. If you're new to the game and you have questions, head on over there. I'll do my best to answer. And if I can't do it, I've got a whole community behind me that can get you some answers. And of course, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to click that subscribe button. Head over to my Patreon page as well. I'm interacting behind the scenes. I'm posting up recipes that my wife has made. I'm sharing pictures of our dog Brownie, and of course general other life stuff. But that is of course a great platform support. So if you like what I do, if you see value in this communication in these videos, head over there, consider becoming a patron today. That's gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Until next time.